these are my people. These are the people that matter to me. These are the people who I should care what they think. That can have limitations to it also, that idea. But, just thinking of the weight someone has in your life, that this is a factor to determine whether we should invest emotionally in wanting to change somebody, kind of like the amount of impact they have on our lives. Hey there. I was thinking today about how important it is to prioritize our energy. Something that is a downside of the blessing of technology is that we have access to so many various opinions and perspectives, and it's a beautiful thing, but it also is not grounded to be seeing all these, like, a ton of different perspectives at some point, because only we can use our emotions and intuition to understand what is best for us in our very unique circumstance. And if we rely too much on other people's perspectives and experiences without listening to the feedback that our body gives us, then we can just end up extremely confused and unsure in our identity, especially if feeling good, feeling safe, feeling secure is reliant upon other people being happy with us. And we believe the only way other people will be happy with us is if we agree with them or do things that they want us to do. But doing things that they want us to do can incapacitate our ability to make ourselves feel happy and to also have that innate trust and relationship of self-care and self-love, which enables us to have this, this inner, we can create a sense of feeling good all the time by knowing that we are doing things to protect ourselves and to love ourselves and nurture ourselves. So that's definitely a downside of beautiful technology. We can accidentally, in our attempts to try to have more information, have more certainty, have more, we can't have this certainty based on theory. We have to put things into practice in our lives and see what feels right and makes sense for us. And it's really important that we stay true to our bigger picture dreams and goals, and prioritize our energy accordingly. Because I know for myself, if I want to be a little old lady living on a beautiful, huge piece of land that is a land trust divvied up between me and friends, and we can all have our own areas and our combined areas, if I want to live that, then I really need to have more compassion for myself and what I need in the moment in order to manage my energy. Sometimes I try to be too perfect, in the sense of I try to be everything for everyone. I try to think just because I have a sense of what somebody would need to be healed, or because I feel this sense of, I want to bring compassion to somebody, or I want to try to change somebody who I believe is harmful, I have to remember sometimes that I can't help people who harm me and cause me too much stress, and I have to be, you use the word humble or strategic, but I have to understand that I got to put my energy first and what the quality of life of what I want to experience first. And the only way that I will devote my energy towards trying to change somebody is if they have a big role in my life, you know? And I think that this is also a part of the kind of perspective, um, the unique perspective of not having had close relationships long term in my life, like, no relatives, um, being kind of close, but not actually like really emotionally intimate and vulnerable and safe with people, for several years. But then, you know, people come and go throughout life. I think that this perspective is really different from those who grow up in really solid family environments. Um, there's good and bads from both sides, um, or both types of upbringings give us different insights and skills, and also liabilities or limitations or whatever. But I really feel like it's it's a beautiful thing that if you have been in atmospheres with relatives or growing up just around the same group of people that you've known for a long time, you kind of have that understanding in your mind, like, these are my people. These are the people that matter to me. These are the people who I should care what they think. That can have limitations to it also, that idea. But, just thinking of the weight someone has in your life, that this is a factor to determine whether we should invest emotionally in wanting to change somebody, kind of like the amount of impact they have on our lives. And sometimes with jobs or kind of emergency situations, if somebody's trying to harm us, we don't always have control over whether somebody is in our lives, and we will have to prioritize using our abilities to help them, and to bring compassion and bring, transmute their violence, so to speak, or their anger or their hatred or whatever that they are turning against others and ultimately towards themselves. But I think it's important also to, I just think that that's really a beautiful thing to have that perspective of what people are worth investing the emotional energy into. And I think that for myself, I've always tended to think, oh, this next person could be the next big person in my life who could help make things happen for me, who could help bring some kind of transformative change in me and me in them. I'm always kind of seeing that dynamic, or that possibility of a dynamic with people, which has pros and cons. It means I have this skill of being able to emotionally invest in people as individuals and see them as individuals and help them, really wanting to help people. But also it means that I am more likely to I guess forget that just because there's the potential of something happening doesn't mean it is worth me investing my energy to try to make it happen. And I kind of have this idea of always wanting to be friends with the people around me that I come across, always wanting peace. And I want to experiment more with honoring what actually feels like peace to me, which is sometimes not interacting with people who I could help, but ultimately I don't see them in a favorable way. These people that we just simply don't like. And if you're like me, you might have grown up thinking that it is evil for you to not like people. It doesn't mean you're going to do harm to them, active harm, but it just means that there is that need for space, and honoring that need for space, and honoring the the creative potential and prioritizing of energy that space gives us. So um yeah, it's difficult when we want things to be so peaceful on earth, and then we have to change our thoughts according to what is practical, and according to the limitations we all have, the energetic limitations, and the the strengths that we have also. It is important to know our worth, in the sense that if we aren't, I'm trying to learn this for myself, if I'm not focused on trying to control and manage and make every single person I come across be healthier and happier according to my understanding, that is going to exhaust me and prevent me from being able to enjoy the things that matter to me personally. And I'll just be caught up in kind of that control, that trying. What I have done in my life is finding joy more so through control, finding rewards through that sense of control, and managing and changing people around me, because I have been in such dependent positions in my life, and even in jobs. We can be in positions where we are dependent on that job still, and within that job there are certain stances we have to take to protect ourselves, and prevent kind of prevent other people from harming us, trying to control and change people in a suave way that it keeps the peace, and also allows us to stay in that environment for survival, but allows us to minimize the amount of harm that we receive from being around this person or the people in the environment, if you're talking about customers or something. So it's a very common adaptation to try to cope in the world with these structures we have set up for how people earn money, and the cultures that we use to try to manage people's behavior so that they can be cogs within greater money-making pursuits. And yeah, it's all really complex. So I am basically just having compassion for myself, that yes, I've learned to caretake for people who aren't caring for me too much, but ultimately it comes down to being aware of myself, to be aware, like, am I caretaking for somebody because I feel it is out of survival, or am I caretaking for somebody because I genuinely care and love for them? And I think that is something else I have to be honest with myself and not judge myself for, that sometimes I don't love somebody. I don't care about them. Like, I care about them in a general human being sense. I don't like want harm to come to them, but I'm not investing my emotional energy into their outcomes, you know, or because there's so many people on earth and we have a limited number of people we can invest in. That's why the idea of chosen family, or family in general, but for me more so chosen family, that is why that is so beautiful and important to me now, is because it kind of gives that order of priority that is just, it helps us, it protects us from being carried away on the waves of best intentions, but ultimately, you know, trying to invest our emotional energy and um, get some kind of sense of reward or control or certainty that the world around us is a safer place, you know, um, in a way that ultimately doesn't give much back. And if you're not committed to each other in a chosen family and forever friendship kind of way, then it's just, yeah, you have to kind of know who you're investing your energy in and if it's worth putting all this effort in. And that's something I'm still learning, you know, because part of it is how do people become close in the first place. You have to be willing to take some risks to be emotionally invested, but you also have to be real with yourself about what your personal likes are, what your limits are, what makes you feel safe. And you have to be willing to feel your feelings and not judge yourself for them, and know that if you feel um, any kind of dislike towards people, like a strong dislike, something against your values, something that makes you angry, you know, listen to that and honor that as being protective. And it's okay to not to not always have the answer for people, to not always be able to transform and change people. And yeah, anyway, so this is what is on my mind today, and I hope that it's of some kind of help to you. If it's relatable to you in your own life, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. And yeah, take care. Bye.